Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm Taylor Wilson, and today we're joined by three very lovely ladies of relatively new firms here at Kestra Financial. We've got Liz Lopez of Prominent Peak, and then we have Natalie Trouw and Deborah Trouw of Elevation Financial. So the three of you all come with very interesting perspectives, being relatively new to the firm and, of course, having experience at prior firms. So I want to talk a little bit today about kind of the motivations behind those changes, and then also our business consulting resources and technology. So let's really start there on kind of the motivations. So at your previous firm, what drew you to Kestra Financial? Liz, we can start with you.
Yeah, well, for my partner and I, Brendan, it was part of like our dream that, hey, eventually we want to have our own firm. And working with Wells Fargo advisors, the only way to really go independent with them was to go over to the FiNet program. And that wasn't really a possibility. You know, they're not switching their branch-based advisors over to their independent side. And I'm sure everyone's, very familiar with what's going on with Wells Fargo advisors. So that kind of pushed us to say, hey, we need to start researching and figuring out where can we go, when to go, and that's really what pushed us to move over to Kestra.
Wow, that's a really interesting perspective. So that's really cool. Kestra's offering something that Wells Fargo did not. So that's,
correct.
That's great. All right, so Natalie and Deborah, so coming over from, I'll let you introduce your firm. So what were the motivations behind that?
Yeah. Well, we were at Watt Allen Reed, and they have been a great, successful company for 80 years. I think they have been in business, and I have 14 years with them. So over the years, I really defined how I wanted to do business, and I came up against some barriers that, no, you can't do that. You can't have that marketing material. We don't like how you're talking about wanting to be more individual than our firm. And so I already was feeling as though I was outgrowing that company and their culture. And when they announced they were merging to the largest broker-dealer in the country, LPL, that's when I made my decision.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, I mean, that does make perfect sense. I mean, Kestra is geared specifically towards those kind of firms, outgrowing their previous firms. Like James Power always says, Kestra's a place you graduate to. So that's really interesting. And so part of that transition, are the resources in place at Kestra to hopefully make that easy and then help you grow your business once you're here. So I'm really referring to the business consulting resources. So Liz, we'll start with you again. So how has business consulting really been important to your firm since you've been here? Yeah,
well, coming from a branch-based background, my partner and I didn't really have any experience on, hey, what exactly are we supposed to do? We know how to be advisors. We don't know how to run a business. So speaking to the business consulting group, there's so many different areas, right? If you need help with marketing, if you need help with the actual business structure, compliance. So having that team and knowing, hey, we can call, this person or that person to answer our questions definitely helped out. So I would say that if you're brand new to this, having that business consulting group is a must. And that's the reason why we chose Kestra, because we did speak to LPL and we felt that we weren't going to get the help that we needed being brand new, and that they were so huge that we felt that we were just, going to be forgotten about. So that's how the business consulting group has helped out.
That's good. Any shout outs on the business consulting team?
Yeah,
it's been really
Karen.
Helpful? Okay.
Karen's great. And also when we were talking to like our recruiter, he was a lot of help as well. There were so many questions that we had, and every other firm that we spoke to, didn't really have the answers we were looking for. And Kestra was always on top of it. And if they didn't know right then and there, they went back and found the answer and found the right person to get us to, and they answered our questions for us. And it was it was really organized manner as well. So that's really what that stood out from Kestra.
Wow, that's really great to hear. I mean, would you say does your experience similar or differ?
Definitely. Natalie, do you want to speak to that a little bit, our onboarding process?
Yeah, well, first, we felt the same way about LPL, where we would just be, one tiny drop in the huge bucket of all of those advisors. But our onboarding experience was amazing. Shout out to Lee Temple.
Yes,
he was
Lee's great.
Yeah,
we started with him.
Yes, yeah. And so I think even we're not brand new to this. Deborah's always been an independent advisor, but having that support, and he was always there, and also our recruiter was also very helpful. Bill Taddeo, and like you could just call them up and ask them anything, and they would get you the answer. You would hear back from them.
Yeah, so Lee was a great central resource for us, and if I said, well, I want to talk to someone about the advisory programs, how do you do it at Kestra? I know how it happened at Waddell & Reed, and he would connect me with the person that was working with that particular area as expert in that subject matter, and I could ask quite detailed questions because, of course, I was trying to determine how could I most easily get my clients and their accounts to the new firm with the minimum of hassle for the clients.
Yeah.
We can take all sorts of hassle, but for them it was very stressful, just the mention of moving to another company, and to be able to tell them, well, we've researched all of this, we've done our due diligence, and I feel very comfortable with what the resources will be when we get to Kestra. And our clients were able to, hold on to my word with that and say, okay, well, Deborah, just tell us what you need. We're ready to sign. How soon can we come?
Well, that's really great to hear, and then I am glad to hear the transitions process is so smooth. So then once you do come on board, Kestra, of course, has this commitment to growth, helping their advisors grow. Has the business consulting team done anything to really help you kind of grow your firm, take it to the next level, or maybe expand into new offerings?
Well, I think we've been spending our time finding out about all the resources that there are, all the different people that can help us. I have a very financial planning centric business, so being able to use the software I wanted to and talk to the folks about that. And now, of course, we have AdvicePay, the payment system that goes with it, that makes our lives easier. And so I have a feeling that Kestra is always looking to see what else, what next, what can we bring to our advisors. And not to say that the transition wasn't hard, because it was really hard, a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
But stressful, for sure.
But once we got through that, it's been very helpful. And some things that were new to my business were being able to have online cloud storage for documents, and then needing to have a compliant version of that, which we used the Ignite. And so I needed to be able to talk to those people to find out, well, what are the options and how do they work? Because this is completely new to me. And of course, we're doing all of this while hitting the ground running to keep doing business, because our client lives didn't stop.
Right.
And they were still retiring, they still had people that passed away, and we still did everything we needed to do in those important times in our clients' lives. And so we needed to be able to pick up the phone to Kestra and have that onboarding team they were available immediately to answer our questions, so we could just move on and keep doing the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah. That's really fantastic. I mean, Liz, have you been able to offer anything new since coming to Kestra that you weren't able to previously?
Financial planning for a fee. That wasn't a service that we had at my last firm. You had to have assets under management to get a financial plan. And actually, that was probably one of the largest reasons why we made the move, because we wanted to be able to offer that service, and we weren't able to at Wells Fargo Advisors. It's either you had X amount of money, you could work with us, and if you didn't, oh well. So that's been one of the biggest benefits. So we're working on that now, and something that's really helping us is peer perspectives, right? Because we're brand new. We don't know exactly, how much are we supposed to charge for a financial plan? What exactly am I supposed to deliver the client? Because I'm used to delivering X at my old firm, but now we have different software. Right? There's different tools that we didn't have before. So being able to participate in peer perspectives and listen to other advisors that have been in the business, that have been with Kestra, for more than a year, and are doing these type of services really helps out.
Wow, that's really fantastic to hear. I mean, advisor perspective is a huge part of the culture here at Kestra. And pre-COVID, we used to do all kinds of events, and of course, we've got more of those planned in the future. Have you all done any of the peer perspectives yet?
We heard about that for the first time last night.
Oh, okay. Well, something to add to the agenda.
We are looking forward to participating in that.
It's on my list, actually.
Well, good. I hear you can learn a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and well, that's when we were talking to Karen, which was one of our business consultants. She's the one that brought it up, and we also, and our recruiter as well, Rick. He brought it up to us because that was one of our questions. Hey, we're coming from a large firm, now we're going to be independent, but do we still have that connection to other advisors like we did before? And they do, the peer perspectives. And we also joined the Ignite, which has been very helpful because we are a new firm. And again, marketing, we weren't really able to do much before. Everything was so restricted. Social media was restricted for us. We didn't know much about branding because your brand was the company you worked for, right? So having Ignite has definitely helped as well because it set up basically a schedule for the next year of, hey, this is what you need to do for marketing and for growth.
Well, that's really great to hear. I mean, Kestra does work really hard to provide a lot of those resources. And one of Kestra's big commitments is technology. They say, if you're not in the technology business, you're out of business. So, Deborah and Natalie, I mean, how has technology played a role in your firm since coming to Kestra?
Well, technology was definitely a huge reason why I came to Kestra. I had certain things that I like to use at Waddell & Reed. We did have third-party softwares for financial planning, like eMoney. We were using Redtail for our CRM. We were using Riskalyze to build portfolios. And so I was looking to see that I would be able to use those again at Kestra. And then, we were looking for an upgraded experience, right, in terms of the integration of different technologies that to save having to input here and then input the same information there to transfer. And having it integrate is very important. Did you want to add?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is that, Waddell & Reed's technology, a lot of it they try to do all themselves, which I think is not the best way to go because you're not a technology firm, right? But when a client would call in and I would have to open 3 different applications to answer one question because there's an account on this platform, one on this platform, and then this information is only here. So it would take a long period of time. And now someone calls in, I type in their last name and all the information is right there, which it's amazing. I mean, I love the technology. It's so much better. I remember we did the technology, what is that? When they show it to you at the beginning, when
the demo.
The demo, yeah, the tech demo. We did that at the beginning, and I was kind of blown away, honestly.
Same.
Yeah, I was like, this is where I want to go, and I basically made the decision right there and then.
Yeah, we were looking at 2 other firms along with Kestra as we were doing our due diligence and seeing that demonstration from each of those firms. I mean, Kestra was ahead.
By far.
And it just felt, when we started to use it day one, coming to the firm, it was intuitive. We all had to learn all these different softwares really fast, right? But it wasn't a problem.
Wow, that's really interesting and really great to hear. I mean, Liz, being from such a, restrictive place like Wells Fargo, I mean, how's technology impacted your business? Yeah,
well, we had no Redtail, no eMoney either. So everything was brand new to us. And I'm the one that took over and said, okay, this will be what I do. I'll learn how to connect. And we had a lot of help from Lee as well as Nick on how to connect all of these systems. And there was guides. If you just go to the Kestra site, there's guides on everything. And I'm more of a researcher, so I'll read and figure it out myself before I call someone. But it's been great, honestly. It makes life so much easier, having an automatic emails go out, having, the red tail for the CRM. The e-money has been something that, we were so excited about. There's just so much more that you can do on e-money than we could at our last firm with the system that we had. Being able to offer those services to clients, it really makes a huge difference.
Wow,
well, and I think we need to keep upgrading the tech experience for our clients to stay current. They are looking, especially under the last 2 years of the pandemic. We do everything digitally, electronically now. And to have it be able to integrate seamlessly with virtual presentation through webinar for meetings. And we were set up. And we didn't know until we started having meetings like that back in March of 2020. But it came together beautifully. And that's something for me. I feel like I'm always looking out to see what next, what else can enhance that collective experience for both us and the clients.
Wow, that's really interesting and really great, because when it comes to technology, you can't be stagnant.
Right.
You have to continue to improve and reiterate, and that is something Kestra is devoted to. And so I guess one final question here, because we've all had a great discussion so far, is looking for the future of Kestra. What are you, I'll ask each of you, of course, but what are you most excited for on the horizon for Kestra? It could be technology, it could be Kestra IM, it could be, they're buying you a new desk chair. What are you most excited for?
I'm excited for, I think, the opportunity for the future of my business. The other main reason I came to Kestra was that I see a lot of young people here, and there is, this G2 program that for my daughter Natalie, who is the future owner of our business, that will be able to make a seamless transition with a lot of support to do that. So I'm excited about that for a start.
I would say my answer is pretty similar. It's just the chance to start getting to know everyone in the Kestra community and build that up again, because coming to a new firm, it's strange, you don't know anyone. So I'm excited to get to know everyone.
Yeah, I'm excited about the technology. Right, everything's advancing. Our investors, obviously, you have millennials now stepping in and are ready to do their financial planning, and we need to make sure that the tools that we have available are tools that that they can use. We need to be on their level, right? Not falling behind, and that's the reason why we chose Kestra, because we did talk to some other bigger firms, right? And they're still stuck in the old age, and you can't be. You have to adapt to what's out there. And Kestra's, being here 4 months, there's already changes going on. So I can only imagine what the future looks like with them.
Wow, that's fantastic. All great answers. And I want to thank you all for joining us here today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Ascend conference. And if anything ever comes up, please don't hesitate to reach out to us here at Kestra to help.
All right, thank you. Thanks for inviting us.
Thank you.